We have our 3 content boxes for our high-resolution layout. Let's go and take care of these guys. So what I'm going to do initially anyway is going to be a pretty simple change over inside my external style sheet. For the high-resolution media query, I'm going to go and find my content box. Of course, he's a class rule. And I'm going to go and find his border color. Now, we have 2 borders on this guy, don't forget. We have the border top, and we also have the border bottom. And I want to change the colors on these guys, the color values that we're using. So we're going to have to make this change twice. And I'm going to use the same RGB color values that we've been using previously for the master and for the slideshow. So once again, it's going to be 193, 180, 152. And I'm going to repeat that, as I say, for both the border top and the border bottom. So once again, 193, 180, and 152. Perfect. Okay, good stuff. You can save and refresh if you want to. That's fine. I'm going to keep moving here, though. The other thing that I want to do is I want to control the paragraphs that appear inside the 3 content boxes. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to create a compound rule. Now, if you want, you can flip back to your HTML and take a look here. So there we have our content boxes, and they're in divs. But don't forget that placeholder text, that lorem ipsum that you and I went and dropped in there, we enclosed that placeholder text inside a paragraph element. So I can use that to my advantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back down into my high-resolution media query, give myself a little bit of space underneath my content box, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to type in .contentBox space P. So any paragraphs that appear inside a content box. If a paragraph appears outside of a content box, then I don't want to control it. So again, it's this conditional formatting idea. All right, now what do I want to do to these paragraphs? Well, a couple of things. First of all, I want to change the font that's being used. So I'm going to type in font-family, and I'm going to use Verdana for my font. And I'm going to set a font size as well, font-size. Once again, I'm going to set a scaling value. This time I'm going to go 80%, so just 80% of the default font size. And you know what, let's stop there. There's one more thing that I want to do, but let's take a look at what we get here. So I'm going to head back to my browser and refresh. There we go, something like this. So there's the font being used there, Verdana. There's the size being used as well. Of course, the border, kind of tough to see in there, but it is in there. Now, there's one other thing that I want to throw in here, as I say, and that is something called line height. If you're coming from the world of print design, this is the same as a leading. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, what it is it's the vertical space between the lines of text. So in CSS, we call this a line height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back over to my external style sheet, back to my new compound rule, and just after his font size, I'm going to say line-height, and then full colon space, and I'm going to try 140%. Again, I'm using a percentage value here. Save and refresh. There we go, something like that. So now our text isn't as jammed together. But once again, you can experiment a little bit with this. You could maybe try 160 or 180 just to see the different results there. I'm going to stick with the 140 though, and the only other thing I'm going to do is just kind of tuck my new compound rule up underneath my content box, just like that. There we go.